Hey, Mr. Vivacious here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about some career related goals for 2025. So I'm currently a software engineer in the insurance industry, and I have a lot of full stack experience, with the majority of my experience being in UI and front end. So the current job, it pays comfortably, it's remote, it funds my 401k, I have insurance, I have benefits, and I get money to spend on traveling, books, alcohol, gifts, restaurants, camera stuff, accessories. Yeah, so it's a pretty solid opportunity, pretty solid position. So my first goal is I want to be a software engineer in the space industry, preferably doing front end work, but if needed to, I wouldn't mind upskilling, learning more about robots or embedded programming after I get the job. I would be okay with relocating. That way I can work alongside smart people in the office, and I feel like with space, you kind of need to be on on the premises, especially with this kinds of unique and specialized technology. I picked the space industry because it's fun and it's cool to me, and could be nice to make a contribution in some way. Now, I'm not saying I want to necessarily put people on Mars or Saturn, but more if I can make the control panels on the lunar module slightly better. Cool, great, all solid. Not really asking for, not send the bar too high on this. And job experiences or experiences on the job would make for interesting small talk. And of course, if I meet someone who's into space or astronomy, it's just more conversation. I have a parallel goal, which is to pick up some mobile developer experience at my current company. And earlier I said I have a lot of full stack experiences in UI development. Mobile is something I haven't done professionally. So my company has a handful of mobile apps, and I want to see if I can get some Android experience, specifically at a professional and corporate level. So I have built and self-published apps on my own time. One of my apps has around 400,000 lifetime downloads, and it was built in Android, so Java and XML. And I'm curious about this line of work because, like I said, I don't have mobile experience. So picking up a temporary work assignment or mentorship at my current company is a convenient way to pick up that experience. And having professional experience on my resume would make switching companies easier. For instance, if I found a mobile development company or opportunity that was closer in line with my goals, like if it was in the space industry, for example, or if it just paid a lot more, I feel like having that experience on my resume would give me some more credibility and weight, as opposed to, nothing wrong with personal projects, but why not show the corporate level coding if I have access to it. Mobile is interesting because it's also, people have smartphones, people have apps. Working on an app means some random person is going to look at your work, so the consequences of your code are magnified and much more significant versus working on internal facing applications. So that's an appeal to me. And there are a lot of interesting challenges when considering emerging markets, secondary markets, the global south, lower level devices, such as, like, imagine the average phone in Thailand. It's probably not a iPhone, or if it is an iPhone, it might be. Maybe it's not as fancy as the ones available in the U.S. and Europe. So interesting challenges, like being able to support multiple markets stuff. I don't know. I find it interesting. I think since a smartphone is now the first computer for a bunch of people outside first world countries, that will there's a lot of opportunity to create real value, positive change through a mobile developer skill set. So I really want to hop on that if I could. My last resort goal is to be a software engineer in any industry, preferably front end, and making more money than I currently do, or make a comparable amount of money but be internationally remote. And it's called a last resort in case switching to the space industry doesn't pan out, or I do some mobile dev and I lose interest, or I just suck at it. So I still wanna do something with my career this year, because it's something I haven't touched in a while, and I really feel like this year, if I put in a little bit of initiative, there will be a lot of return on investment, either through the people I meet, I get to meet, or the projects I get to work on, or the money I could make. So just something I haven't really picked up with my hands and asked, what could I do with this as my career? So I want to make some change. And I put international remote because I do like to travel, and my current job is domestically friendly for the United States. And I've been able to visit a bunch of friends, a bunch of states within the US comfortably, and work at the same time. However, there's a great big world out there, and I have friends outside the US, so it'd be nice to be able to visit them and still make money. Maybe I could spend some time in India, get to know my family out there more, my cousins. And if the more money, if I can't get remote but I can get more money, then maybe I could move to I could get like a decent apartment in a bigger city than I currently live in, and meet more people, play more sports, build more projects, find people to, like, a book club to read with, find causes to volunteer for, find new restaurants, dating, find people to drink with, party, go to the beach, etc., depending on where I'm at, go hike. So yeah, basically just want to make a change this year and really enhance my life and lifestyle. So there are going to be a couple challenges I anticipate, and I'm sure there are more beyond. But with the space industry goal, one challenge is that the space industry is not that large to begin with in terms of job openings, and it's especially not large for front-end and UI engineers. Aerospace engineers, embedded engineers, physicists, back-end engineers, those people are more in demand, much more in demand. However, to mitigate that and boost my chances anyway at job applications, I plan on building a few astronomy-related projects in the coming weeks that I can put on my resume to communicate intent and interest. I could also try to network with existing software developers in the space industry in order to get referrals or find more opportunities. So if a software engineer at company A doesn't work out, but they know of a startup, maybe they could give me a referral. I could take the leap, see what comes out of it. Cool, new experience. Some of the challenges I see with my parallel goal of gaining mobile experience, I wouldn't call this a challenge per se, but my skills aren't up to date with industry standards, so I'm not familiar with like using Sentry for crash analytics and logging. I'm not familiar with Kotlin or Jetpack Compose. I've played with SwiftUI in my free time. I've worked with Flutter and Dart in my free time, but the industry standards are now Kotlin, Compose, things that I just haven't touched yet. So this isn't more so a challenge, it's more so just a skill gap I would benefit from trying to close. So I've already started an online course for free, like a free online course I found, I think through the Android website itself, covering Kotlin and Jetpack Compose basics. So far it's just been syntax, but soon I'm sure there's a project component somewhere there. So yeah, it's a good experience. And of course, like I said earlier, building projects related to astronomy to boost my chances for just getting a space job. Similarly, I can boost my learning by improving my existing Android apps. So I have an app with 400,000 downloads written in Java. I can try to port that to Kotlin and Compose and start adding features, start pushing more consistent releases, drive the install count up to 1 million. That would be even more, hopefully slightly more interesting data point on my resume and in interviews. Like, hey, I made an app, it has 1 million installs, it helps a bunch of people. Yeah, it's written in Kotlin, it's written in Compose, it's up to date with industry standards, the latest version of Android, etc. So yeah, there's some opportunities available to me that I can really benefit from. Of course, I could also just make brand new apps. I'm really interested in is making it easier to keep track of the people I care about, their likes and dislikes, and key memories or shared experiences between us. So I can just kind of stay on top of my understanding of that person and keep the relationship a little more active, a little more fresh. Just having a more comprehensive or better understanding of that character, of that personality, rather than without the app, so that whenever we interact, I'm able to provide a more like meaningful, valuable interaction with them. I don't know, just an idea. It'd be nice to have something like that. So here's something I could work on, and it would also contribute to my goal. So yeah, if despite my efforts, space and mobile doesn't work out, and challenges with my last goal, or try to not be upset, try to not feel bad or feel dumb. I still have a job, still have friends, life's good, healthy, yeah. Still go to the library, read some books. Spamming LeetCode and Java applications is a process I've never cared about, and I might have to start caring about it. And it would be important to remember that the effort I'm the only person who stands to benefit from all this anyway. Like, I'm not just wasting my time or energy by doing, interview study. It would actually, the theory is a new job or a new project, or a more interesting project, or a more interesting job, or more interesting experience, or more interesting money would directly enhance my quality of life in some non-zero way. So I definitely stand to benefit from investing in my career, which is, again, just something I haven't really done before as seriously as I'm trying to this year. Getting multiple offers and performing negotiations, that would be something I'd have to be conscious of and try and time. Because again, if I can have multiple offers, I can negotiate, I can get even more money or even more time off or even more benefits. I stand to gain a lot. And finding a job that is internationally remote friendly and pays greater than or comparable to what I currently make might be a bit tricky, but I might have to look into the startup space. I have a buddy who picked up a job, or an international remote job in a crypto startup, and he's able to work he moved from San Francisco to South Korea to spend time with his fiance and her family, get to know them more. So that was pretty cool. There's no reason I couldn't be working at that same company, doing remote, relocating from the US to India, get to know people over there, to Japan, meet my buddy, to China, meet my buddies, to Taiwan, meet my buddy, etc. And all the nitty gritty and specifics aside, I am looking forward to a couple things through this effort. Specifically, I'm looking forward to building some new stuff this year. I haven't really been coding in my free time outside of work ever since I graduated. So it'll be cool to see what I'm able to come up with. I'm looking forward to building some stuff with my buddies, especially my friend Joel. I really want to work on an astronomy thing with him. And once we get around to that, I'll post another video showing off the progress. That'll be cool. And then just going through the experience and doing all these things gives me an experience I can tell other people, like other budding software engineers and whatnot. So it's always a good time. Yeah, it's just a whole process. I'm looking forward to trying to work on this daily. And of course, if I'm traveling, I don't think I'll be able to get to make an effort, nor would I probably don't think I'd want to if I'm traveling. But I'm also gonna try and make these videos about once or twice a week, just to keep myself accountable, and anybody could watch and see what I did and how I got to where I ended up going this year. So some action items for me to conclude would be start brainstorming some astro projects, start maybe looking at astro jobs, if you know what kind of requirements or qualifications they prefer in candidates, and then at work try to meet some mobile developers, see if I can get a mentorship or a opportunity to contribute some code, to work on a small project, that kind of stuff, that would push these forward. And then outside of work, could study Kotlin, compose, work on my own projects. Yeah, so those are some things, and we'll find out in the next video what I ended up doing.